along with Election Commissioners Shri Rajiv Kumar ji, Shri Anup Chandra Pandey ji, and Secretary General Shri Umesh Sinha ji have been here for the last 2 days to review the poll preparedness for the forthcoming assembly elections. I would request Honorable CEC Shri Suchil Chandra ji to address you, and thereafter floor would be open to your questions with respect to this review meeting. Shri Chandra sir, please.
Honorable Election Commissioner Shri Rajiv Kumar ji, Honorable Commissioner Shri Anup Chandra Pandey ji, Secretary General, senior officers, and all friends from media. First of all, I welcome you to this press conference. And we came here yesterday, and we had an interaction with various political parties, officers, enforcement agencies, deputy commissioners, and in the last but not the least and the most important is the media. We found all the political parties very matured in their representations, and now I'll be discussing various issues which have been raised. As you are aware, the term of the State Assembly in Goa is due to expire on 15th March 2022. Therefore, elections are to be held before that for 40 ACs, out of which 39 are general and one is scheduled caste constituency in the state. Election Commission of India is totally committed to conduct the forthcoming elections in a very free, fair, impartial, transparent, and absolutely inducement-free elections. Our endeavor is to achieve maximum participation of all voters, including new voters, women, persons with disabilities, and senior citizens. During this visit, representatives of 5 political parties, namely All India Trinamool Congress, Bharatiya Janata Party, Indian National Congress, Goa Forward Party, and Maharashtrabadi Gomantak Party, came to meet the Commission. The Commission has taken cognizance of their views and suggestions, which I will elaborate later. After meeting the political parties, the Commission reviewed overall poll preparedness with the district election officers, the superintendent of police, and also the chief electoral officer and the state level police nodal officer. The commission also met with the nodal officers of the enforcement agencies like income tax, DRI, customs, postal guard, police personnel, railways, airports, CISF, to curb the misuse of money, drugs, and freebies distribution during the election, as also ensuring effective and prompt action on the ground. Thereafter, Commission discussed the administrative logistics, COVID-related preparedness, and election-related preparedness with the Chief Secretary of the state and DG Police of the state. The concerns which were highlighted by the political parties are few, which I would like to mention. Most of the representatives expressed satisfaction of the work done by the Chief Electoral Officer here, and issues highlighted included one of the parties expressed apprehension that 80 plus senior citizens and PWD voters who opt for postal facilities may be influenced, and thus requested to allow political party representative to be present during postal ballot facility. One of the party representatives suggested the need for standardization training modules for BLO, polling officials, and expenditure monitoring teams so that uniform instructions are followed for electoral process. Some political parties mentioned the need for level playing field and to ensure that there should be no misuse of the government machinery so as to hold free and fair elections, and the Commission should ensure the total level playing field to all the political parties. One of the party representatives asked for timely publication of electoral rolls and its distribution to the political parties. One of the political party representatives requested the Commission to take note of the festival dates, which is this starting from December 20th on Christmas. Now I shall apprise you about the specific initiative and the directions of the Commission to address these concerns. ECI has always recognized that, along with the voters, political parties are the most important stakeholder in any election process. The Commission has assured the political party representative that our endeavor is to conduct free, fair, participative, inclusive, inducement-free, and safe elections. Goa elections have consistently seen a very high voter participation. That clearly shows about the persons of Goa. They are quite literate, they know their rights, and therefore the participation of the persons in Goa has been quite high, which I will tell you that in 2017 the electoral participation was 81.21%. In State Assembly election 2012 it was 82.57%, and in 2019 general elections it came down to 74.95%. However, the Commission has directed the DO and the CO to identify low voter turnout pockets to ensure inclusive and participative elections. Every polling booth does not have the same type of a polling percentage. There are many polling booths in which the percentage is low. So we have asked the CO to identify that which are the polling booths in which the percentage is less, so that our BLOs, the booth level officers, can go, tell them their rights, tell them about the various policies of the ECI, motivate them to cast their vote. And you have seen that the motivation level, that the sweep activities which we have done, and outside you must have just seen, that is only to encourage voters to make an atmosphere of the election so that the person can feel that their important right of voting has to be exercised. Voter registration, as you must have seen that for last 2 months we were having SSR activities, the summary revision of the electoral roll, and a lot of work has been done by our CO here. And there are two ways this for a voter, that is the registration online and on offline also. He encouraged the person to file voter registration forms in online mode, and the persons who could not take the facilities of the online, even our BLO went there, helped them, and Form 6, 7, 8 were taken from the respective persons. And with this result, over 30,598 new voters were made during this particular period, which included 16,807 first-time voters. Our emphasis was that all the persons who are going to be completed 18 years of 1st of January should be included into the voters. Our special emphasis was on the women participation of the voters. Our special emphasis was the PWD, the person with disability should be included in the voter list, and the senior citizens. So with that result, 16,807 first-time voters have been enlisted in the state. Gender ratio is quite high favorably in Goa, it is 1,055. And COs has informed that 9,804 PWD voters and 30,080 plus age voters and 298 service voters have been mapped. This is quite a good number actually. If you see that the state, which is having a population of 50 lakh, we have mapped around 9,800 PWD voters and 30,000 plus 80 plus voters. As we brace for the polls, the total number of electors in the state is going to be around 11.56 lakhs as on date. The final figure will be clear when the exercise will be concluded, and the roll will be published on 5th of January. Now I come to the polling stations and the AMF facilities on the polling stations. Keeping in view the COVID social distancing norms, and still because we have to have a very COVID compliant behavior, the Commission has specifically revisited some extent norms. As a result, the maximum number of electors norm at a polling station has been reduced from 1,500 to 1,000 in Goa. With the result, what happened that we will have to give more polling stations. And already 60 new polling stations have been created. And with the result that there are 1,722 polling stations in whole of Goa. We are also ensuring that all polling stations should have assured minimum facilities. That is, drinking water, ramp, toilets, shades. These arrangements will have to be made, and even we have reviewed it at the level of chief secretary also, with all the deputy collectors, with all the commissioners, the electoral CO, the DCs, and we have instructed very clearly that all our polling booths should have assured minimum facilities. The toilets, the ramps, the drinking water facilities, shelters, and they are to be ensured and they will be given to each and every polling station. Simultaneously, our polling stations will have to be absolutely accessible. And as you have just seen before starting the press conference, our emphasis has been on the Divyang, the PWD voters. We are making them aware about their rights. We are making our polling stations absolutely accessible to them. Therefore, we have ensured that all polling stations should have a gentle ramps, the arrangement of the wheelchair, and all instructions in the braille and the sign language as well, so that their percentage should be quite high. I request that these persons should be encouraged, and in one of the states which recently we had seen by-elections, in that state 90% voter turnout was there from the Divyang. So that is they are very important part of our electoral process and the society, and they should really feel empowered for that. We have also made all arrangements for all the polling stations will be absolutely on ground floor. That is absolutely clear. And all polling stations are likely to have absolutely all infrastructure facility. And maximum at one place, the polling stations at few places, something around 11 places, there are 5 polling stations. At all other places, there are number of polling stations are quite less, 1, 2, and 3. And to give a boost to the women participation in the electoral process, around 100 polling stations will be absolutely managed by the women, so that they can absolutely feel a sense of empowerment, and our women participants, the women electors, can come with confidence to those particular polling stations. That will be a really large number, first time in Goa that 100 polling stations will be absolutely managed by women. Along with that, at least 4 or 5 polling stations will be all managed by the person with disabilities. So to give them empowerment, to give them feeling a sense of empowerment, and they can be example to others. So the polling stations will be managed absolutely by the person with disabilities. And as a part of a special initiative to outreach the PWD voters, 491 Divyang Mitras have been appointed amongst Divyang government officials. They will guide them, they will tell them, and they will make all awareness to those persons. For the BLOs, our black level development officers who have been totally involved into the SSR activities have also been sensitized to PWD voters and their behavior, how they are going to be treated at the polling stations. And a guide for BLO on PWD appropriate behavior and excessive elections in Braille has also been released. And as a part of a new initiative, our CO is using eco-friendly material for various items at the polling station. That is a very good initiative to make the environment friendly, baskets, file covers, and other decorative material at the polling stations. So all eco-friendly articles will be totally used. The Commission has already issued guidelines regarding postal ballot facility, as it was a concern of the political parties also. For absentee voters, for senior citizens above 80 years of age, PWD electors, and COVID-19 suspects or affected person. I would like to mention here for everybody's information that this facility of casting vote at home for 80 plus age is absolutely optional. It is not compulsory. Most of the persons, they want to come to our polling stations, but this is an optional facility. If they want to come, that they want that the voting should take place at home, our ECI officials will go to their home. That will be videographed, and the political party representative will be informed, so that the concern of the political parties is absolutely met out, and they will be intimating that our team is going about at such a time, so that the representative can come and our officials will be there. It will be videographed, and our concern that a secret ballot will remain as it is, because that has to be done in an absolutely secret atmosphere. So there is no question of partiality or influencing by any of the electoral official as far as the casting of vote for the absentee voters. As I've already told you that in the state there are 9,804 PWDs, so and 38,000 plus 80 plus senior citizens. So if a form of 12D is get filled, once the elections are announced, our BLO will go and collect the form. They need not to come to the polling stations or to the RO. So he will go and collect that if you want to cast your vote at the polling stations or you want that the AECI should come to your place and get a vote casted over there. So that is if absolutely facility which will be given to the senior citizens, persons suffering from COVID and PWDs. And for just you have seen outside, we have just launched a Divyangjan Lok Shahi Rath, and you were there only. That it is only to make aware about our PWD voters, that what are the facilities in the Braille, how the EVM functions, how the VVPAT functions. So each and every awareness to these persons will be given. Besides that, our already awareness programs have been launched in which the information and the concern about EVM are already on the move, and around 400, more than 400 places the camps have been organized and they have been told about it. Another important area is that towards the impartiality and absolute transparency is that all the polling stations in Goa will be totally webcasted. Each and every polling station will be having a facility of webcasting. And besides that, the first time that too only in Goa we have started a webcasting data analytics also with the help of IIT Goa. So that real time in monitoring will be done of the booths, and we will ensure that booths should be absolutely impartial behavior by the officials. The queue management can be done through that, and if there is any unwanted person in the polling booth also, that can also be noticed through the monitoring. So we are absolutely going, this is the first time that in any state this webcasting data analytics is being done, and that is another step towards absolute maintaining the transparency. And the concern of political party that the electoral roll should be given early. I think on 5th of January this electoral roll will be published and that will be given to the political parties. And because we want that absolutely priority to ensuring purity of electoral rolls, Commission has directed super checking of forms by CO and DOs to ensure there should be absolutely perfect electoral roll which we can give to the persons. Another important area is the IT applications, because Goa is absolutely a highly literate society. They are quite compliant to the IT initiatives. Therefore, we would like that IT initiative should be used more by the electors of Goa. And because there is a good facility for the candidate for the nomination. From last year only we have introduced that nomination online can be done by the candidates, and I have requested the political parties that they should come forward and the nomination should be done online during this particular COVID period, so that absolutely there can be a model to their electors, and that voting that the candidate can file the nomination online through the Suvidha app. We have also got this Suvidha app through which the political parties can request for the ground of rallies, and that too will also be online, and that can be done only on first come first served basis. A new initiative has been taken in Goa again, because I think Goa is a place of a lot of innovations, and the person's participation is really great into that. The chatbot has been introduced as a voter dost, in which all information can be held, can be accessed by the voter, and that will also give the longitude, latitude of the polling booth where they are going to have. So this is absolutely a new initiative taken by CO Goa, and that will be really useful for our voters at this place. One more app which I like to share with the media, so that the media friends can tell to the citizens of this place, is the C-Vigil. This is a very important tool, as a very important app, in which we want that a citizen be participative in the electoral malpractices if they are happening. Like if any candidate is violating the MCC, if any money is being distributed, or if any flouting of the instructions of the election commission is being done, he can simply take a photograph of that particular incident and can upload it. Automatically, this will go to the ECI, and within 100 minutes, some party will reach to that. The examination will be done of that particular event, and it is only for that person whether he gives his name or he doesn't give his name. If he gives his name, then we'll inform him also this action has been taken. But otherwise, if he wants to remain incognito, he can remain incognito. So I would like that there should be more participation by the electors for C-Vigil. And many states have used that, and where our electoral practices, especially I will say a few states like Kerala and all, they've used it to a very large extent, and so that to minimize the electoral irregularities or MCC violations, they could come to the focus of the ECI. Now I'll come to the expenditure monitoring. This is absolutely perfect aim of the ECI, that our election should be absolutely inducement free. There have been a lot of concern by the political parties that the money may be distributed, the drugs may be distributed to influence the voters. So for that, there's a strength and there's a strong actions is required by the Election Commission of India, and therefore we had a meeting with all enforcement agencies yesterday. And in that case, we have met the Income Tax Department, who has been asked to keep absolute monitoring, surveillance at all the places, and to develop their intelligence, so that if there is any cash which is being hoarded or to be distributed, will have to be taken into consideration, and action will have to be taken immediately. And for the freebies also, we have talked to them that if there is any storage of freebies or any likelihood of distribution of a freebie, that immediately right now, the excise tax department, the GST department, the local commercial tax department will definitely take action, and they are developing intelligence into this respect. Similarly, all airports, railway authorities, coast guards, and the commandant of the coast guard have been asked in no uncertain terms that a strong vigil will have to be kept, so that that inward coming of cash, drugs or freebies is absolutely stopped. And they will have to send a weekly report to our CO at what actions are being taken by them. We do not want any hoarding of drugs, liquor, cash, freebies, which can be used for the election purposes. So that is the first most important thing, and the Commission has put a zero tolerance into this area. The Narcotics Control Bureau have been, asked to keep a very strong watch on the drugs used by anybody. And DOs have been directed to constitute the election expenditure monitoring teams as per the ECI instructions. Flying squads and static surveillance teams will be constituted to check distribution of cash, drugs, freebies, and more coordinated approach will be adopted. So far, the investigating agencies, the enforcement agencies are working in silos. We have directed them that even if one offence is caught, it will have to be brought to all the agencies together so that they can action and a coordinated investigation can take place against these offenders. All nakas will be fully equipped with the CCTVs to maintain strict vigil to prevent any misuse of the nakas. All the entry points, all the state boundaries, all the coast boundaries will absolutely be under surveillance right from now. And mobile squads of the commercial tax department will also monitor any attempt of distribution of freebies. The banks have been instructed to give absolutely good information about any suspicious cash transactions which takes place, because money is coming or withdrawing and heavy withdrawals have been taken. They will also be kept a watch and immediate action will be taken. We will be also appointing expenditure observers who will oversee, and they will be from different states, so that they should be absolutely impartial. They will oversee these activities, and we will ensure that no such activity should take place which can disturb the level playing field or which can produce an inducement to any voter of this particular state. After this, we have also mentioned about the law and order management has to be done. We have spoken to the police commissioner and the DG police in a no uncertain terms that a strong watch will have to be kept on the criminal and the noted criminals who have shown in past also they have been found to indulge in any activities which can vitiate election process. They have been asked to execute all non-bailable warrants on expeditious manner, so that the action can be taken against the noted criminals or the persons who can be perceived to distribute it, to have disturbed the peace and the ground during elections. One more important area is regarding the criminal antecedent of the candidates. Every voter has got a right to choose the candidate. They should be well informed. What are the credentials of the candidate? Once the nomination will be filed, if they have got a criminal record, that will be published by them in newspaper, in TV, at least 3 times. And this time, the political parties will have to publish on their website and in the media also that this candidate is having this criminal antecedents, and so that the public should be absolutely informed about the credentials of a candidate, and they should be well informed to choose. Rather, the political parties will also have to give the reasons as to why they have chosen a person with the criminal antecedent, and they could not find a clean candidate. What were the so specific about that person that they have chosen? So that is another area, so that the elector should be absolutely in full knowledge of the candidate. After that, they can make the choice. Ultimately, it is the elector. Ultimately, it is the voter who determines the democracy. It is the total power is with that common voter, and he is the person or she is the person who will have to choose the government. And ECI also has a special cell for monitoring criminal antecedent of contesting candidates, and they will also monitor whether these activities are being completely the publishing and informing to the public is being done in accordance with the directions. As I've already told you that awareness of EVM VVPAT, it is we have already started that particular functioning, and the person should be absolutely aware as to what is the system of EVM, what is the system of VVPAT, because VVPAT is a seeing is believing. You can see your vote which you have casted, and especially for the young voters, because the first time they will be going to cast their vote, which is a matter of pride to them. So they will feel that they should be fully aware, because we are giving this time EPIC, along with the EPIC, the voter guide also, that what is the function of EVM, how this is to be done. Ultimately, they should be totally informed about the candidate, they should be totally informed about the process, they should be absolutely clear how the vote is to be casted. These are the things that the Commission wants, that full awareness about the voting process, registration process, as well as casting of the vote is done by, and it should be in the knowledge of each and every voter who is there on the ground. We would also like that through the media, that there should not be any hate speeches by the political parties during the elections. There should be no speeches which vitiate the atmosphere, and media plays a very important role. They should really highlight these types of things, and even the social media will also be monitored by the Commission, and appropriate action will be taken wherever it is required. The Commission, through you, request all political parties and candidates to ensure that their supporters do not indulge in any hate speeches and fake news. Strict watch on social media. Posts are also being kept to ensure that election atmosphere is not vitiated. Media organizations may also be more alert, vigilant, and responsible for the matters related to fake news and paid news cases. To sum up, I will like to reiterate that Election Commission of India reiterates its commitment to conduct free, fair, peaceful, accessible, inclusive, inducement-free, and COVID-free elections, so that it should be absolutely safe to all my voters. The enforcement agencies have been asked to alert and to step up their vigil to ensure that the interstate and cross-border movement of drugs, freebies, cash is effectively checked and electoral process is not vitiated. All participants of 80 plus, senior citizens, PWDs, and COVID suspects should be in a position to cast their vote, and all arrangements have been made for them. Elections are literally the festival of democracy. As before entering to this hall, when we saw some social, some programs, some launch of the vehicles and awareness programs, that really gives a sense of festival of democracy. So each one of us, each one of you should really feel that it is a festival of democracy, and we should celebrate into that right spirit of absolutely free and fair elections, and we should all participate wholeheartedly. I wish that the Goa should be the state, which is the model state, in which we can say that the voter turnout is the highest and one of the most ethical elections which we can boast of. So because it's a good, hospitable, small state, persons are literate, persons are knowing about their duties, persons are aware about their duties. So I would request that the maximum participation should be done in the forthcoming elections, and it should be absolutely ethical, and it should be absolutely very free and fair elections. The role of media is really important as a partner of the Election Commission of India, and I wish you all the best, and I am very sure that media play a very active role in getting our elections conducted in a free and fair manner. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May we take some questions now? I would request when you ask your question, please introduce your name and media organization before you begin with the question.
My
Can I-
name, my name is Ganesh Zavdekar. I am from Hangarpui.
You're from?
Just a minute.
Bhangarpui.
Mic level, please.
Mic.
Hangarpui, Konkani paper. Konkani. Sir, you told that means senior citizens 80 and above will able to vote from home.
Yes. That's
Facility will be 80 plus, not less than 80.
not 80 plus, 80 plus.
So he has to produce.
And PWD is also.
Age proof should be there. He has to produce.
A
that.
proof, yes, because they are there in the electoral roll also, that who are the persons 80 plus, because I have given you the number also, that in Goa, more than 30,000 persons are 80 plus age. So we have extended this facility to them. They want to come to the polling stations, they are the most welcome persons, and they want to come. But if they are not in a position to come to the polling stations, they can give their choice in writing. There's a form 12D which they will have to fulfill, and our BLO will go there and collect it, and then our team will go there and they will cast their vote.
So one day before voting, he has to give that form, or
There is a process, it can be even 2 days earlier also, and our team will go and ECI is at the doorstep, that is our comment.
so 12B form.
12D.
12D.
Ah.
That form will be available on website.
That will be available on website also, and CEO will ensure that we will take the choices of all the persons. BLO have been totally told about this process, that they can go, they can ask over there, or they can write to their returning officer also, and it will be done.
Thank you.
You had a question here, too. Bolli. Immediately. To your
Laukik from Prudent Media. My question is, any political party requested you to increase expenditure limit, or are there any plan of commission to increase expenditure limit for candidate?
Here, nobody has requested in Goa as such, but in Delhi we have got representations from various parties to increase the limit, and we had made a committee of under a very senior retired IRS officer, Mr. Harish Kumar also, who took the suggestions of the various political parties, who examined that when the last ceiling limit was put, what has been the inflation rate, how many voters have increased. So they have given their recommendations, and on that recommendations the commission will take a decision, and then we will be able to decide whether any limit is to be increased or not.
One more question: if Omicron wave intensifies in state, there is a provision to delay elections, or can anything happen like this?
I think for last half an hour I have spoken twice on the issue of COVID, and even when the percentage of the COVID is very less, we are making all our booths in a COVID compliant manner. We are giving all masks, sanitizers, social distancing norms, and everything will be followed as it is. And there will be absolutely safe elections. So we are monitoring, commission is monitoring the situation, and if need be, and that is why we have reduced the persons per polling station from 1500 to 1000, and we have increased 60 polling stations. So on an average, there are only 662 persons per polling booth. So we can definitely maintain a social distancing, we can definitely handle the person with the social distancing norms also, and every compliance of the social, this COVID norms will have to be done at the booth.
What about the
I think you
political
have asked
party?
the two questions.
No,
Give some
what
other
about the
chance.
political
Can I give
parties
chance to someone else, please?
who conduct big rallies, sir?
Definitely, they will also be, restrained absolutely, and we will ensure that the park or the ground in which the election rally is held, they should also maintain proper distancing, and the rules and the conditions of the State Disaster Management Act should be strictly followed. there is an SDMA who has also been given power to take action into those particular acts. That if anybody violates the provisions, they are likely to have actions on that. So we will be alerting to SDMA also that they will have to take necessary actions onto that ground.
Right.
Good afternoon, sir. This is Newton. I'm with the Times of India. You mentioned about super checking of the voter registrations. Any particular concern raised by any political parties about that? And attached to that, only a second question: has the CEO noticed any unusual spike in any voter registration? You mentioned about 16,000 new voters, first-time voters.
Yes.
What is the breakup of the other people?
I think one party raised this question also of some deletion at particular place, not on the spike of the registration also. So there have been instructions by the ECI that each and every level the super checking will be done. By the DCs also it will be done, then the CEO will also do certain checkings also. And he found certain irregularities. And in the sense that there is a Form 7 which is given for the deletion of the name. And there's an online system also for that and offline also. So if the person is no more or that person, some other person has given a file on online, that this name should be deleted. So our officer checked it, and you will be surprised to know that we found that they were existing on the ground and they were there. So such types of mistakes took place, and he took cognizance of that, and those persons were not deleted at all. Because for deletion, commission is very strict. No name will be deleted without verification. And the BLO will have to verify, and the super checking will also be done on the test check basis. So the purity of the role is the first most important thing for us, and that we are ensuring that. And even for the process of registration also, we have seen to that they should be ordinary resident of that place. So once they have filed online, and we have found that they are living over there, only then they have been registered.
सर इसको ही
Thank you.
जॉइंट
I'll take the last question. You need to head out for the
इसको ही
flight.
जॉइंट करके एक क्वेश्चन है कि गोवा से 20,000 से ज्यादा वोटर डिलीट हुए हैं, इसके कहाँ गए वो और क्यों डिलीट हुए, इसके बारे में क्या है?
अगर किसी ने शिफ्ट किया है, एक प्रोसेस है फॉर्म 7 का जो मैं आपको बता रहा था बेसिकली, एंड इफ इट हैज बीन गिवन दैट पर्टिकुलर फॉर्म 7, no person can be deleted from the electoral registration until unless the form 7 is filed either by him or by his relative. If suppose person is dead, he cannot file himself. That it has to be filed by his relative only, and then the verification will be done. Similarly, if a person has been shifted who was already there and they have been transferred out of this place, suppose the persons came here to work and after that they have been transferred, like all of us, we have worked at more than 10 places in our life. We cannot remain voter at all 10 places. So I cannot claim to the ECI that why did you delete my name from the other place from where I have been transferred. So anybody, if he has moved out, I think you will agree with me that he should be shifted to that place.
So we'll take the last question from the lady, please. We need to keep to our timeline.
If you are not taking any questions from ladies, I am
No,
not
I'm saying
taking.
last question from the lady.
Our
please.
election is very participative, so our press conference will have to be very, very
No,
participative.
no, she definitely gets the chance, sir.
It's on. Thank you, sir, for the gender balance. And my question is about the. My name is Mayura. I'm from the Indian Express. My question is about the requirement to.
I'm not able to hear you properly.
Her question is about the criminal antecedents for publication.
I
Check mic.
Sir, the question
Can you
is
just
about.
remove mask so that you can tell correctly?
Sir, the requirement to disclose your criminal antecedents, while candidates did that earlier in their affidavits. So this time, the political parties, you said, will have to disclose the reasons for choosing a candidate who has criminal antecedents. So these reasons will have to be given to.
On their website, they will have to give
So
to
it's
the public.
To the public.
And
Right.
out on the website also,
Right.
that I have chosen so and so, having criminal antecedent, and we could not find, we are selecting him because of these reasons. And we could not find any other person into that area who is more so and so, so and so, so and so.
Right. So is this happening for the first time?
This was in earlier times also, but that was not given them very strictly. But though we have seen it, and we have seen the reasons also. They have said in certain cases the commission monitored also, and when they will found, they said that they have done a lot of social work into that area. So that is why we have put them there. In spite of the fact that the Supreme Court has said that benevolity is not the cause. It should not be the benevolity because of which they should write. but they have been asked to give the reasons, and I think the elected can understand what are the reasons for choosing the candidate. Ultimately, it is the party who chooses the candidate, and the final result lies in the hand of you, the voter, whether we have to cast the vote or not.
So you're saying that the commission is going to be stricter about it this time?
Definitely, commission will have to very strict, and when the elections will be announced, we will be launching an app also, in which the detail will be there of that.
So, and if you'll allow me just one more question about the webcasting data analytics that you said is happening only in Goa.
What
The
is that?
webcasting data analytics that you said will be happening only in Goa. So, is there a reason that it's happening only in Goa?
No, we are just trying that actually. What is happening? Sometimes, because now I have told you that the 1100 and odd that polling stations are there. So if there is a long queue on any polling stations, then the DO will come to know immediately. There is a long queue on that particular polling stations. We can take necessary arrangement immediately for that. It is not that somebody should ring them up or the public should tell them. It is our own system. And even if there are more persons into the polling stations which are not allowed as such, we will immediately know and alert will come to us and the person will take it. It is an initiative actually for a more participative, more transparency. Commission is striving for more transparency, impartiality. So whatever way we can do that, we will do that.
Sir, last
Thank you so
question.
much. I'll
Sir,
have to clerk for you. If
How do you comment?
sir, only one last question, sir. Sir,
देखिए last.
Aadhaar and voter card link bill is passed by Parliament. What is the view of Commission on it? Whether it will helpful for Commission for smooth process of election?
100%. This is a very useful bill which has been passed. And the reason for this particular linkage, I think, is that in our electoral roll, the persons, as I told you, 2 or 3 places. So that will help us in eliminating the double voters, the double names of the person, same persons into one particular constituency, outside constituency, another places also. So that the electoral roll will be very, very clean as such. But I can assure you that no name will be deleted without full verification, without giving you choices. Suppose you are a voter at 2 places and they come to know that you are a voter at 2 places. Natural course is that I will ask you whether you would like to in Punjab or whether you like to in your other places. So absolutely safeguards are there, and this will ensure for a clean rule. You did not ask about the very important. You are a young boy. You should have asked about the first electoral reform which has been under the act. That should be made to everyone clear. This reform was pending for last 25 years. That a person who attains his age of 18 on 1st January, only he was being enrolled so far. Now there are 4 dates in a year on which if a person has completed 18 years, he will be enrolled as a voter. So this is a very important reform which has come, through which my young voters, my younger voters will be taken into the electoral roll 4 times in a year rather than once in a year. Well, ultimately what was happening, if you are born on 2nd January, you will get your chance in the next electoral roll, that is on next year. So you will have to wait for 364 days. Now, with this particular act, with this particular reform, which is so good that my all young voters can be put into the electoral rolls 4 times in a year rather than once in a year. As a young voter, I would like that you should, feel good about it. You should tell to others this is one of the most important reform which has taken place since 1950 when the Act 1951 when this RP Act has come into place.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your cooperation.